Alrighty then, folks, and welcome back to another fantastic edition of Opal Eye Presents Know Your Pros. And today's guest, we have Carsten Tice, the owner and lead photographer at Carsten Tice Photography. Carsten, of course, makes photographs that are as bright and bold as you are, doing both portraits and events. She's got her own little studio here on Violet Lantern in Dana Point, California. She is incredibly talented. I'm thrilled to have her as a guest today. Carsten, thanks for dropping by.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Carsten, I'm stoked to talk to you. I don't talk to a lot of photographers, truth be told. And when I first came across your website, your portfolio, everything just like jumped right out of me. It was so, like I said in the intro, I mean, it was bright, it was bold. Your photographs certainly speak for themselves, and you've got a lot of great stories behind your business that back up fantastic experiences from clients from years and years gone by, I guess. I want to know from your perspective why it was all those years ago that you decided to start your own photography business. What was that journey like?
Yeah, so I studied photography in college and didn't really think I was going to make a career of it. But then all my friends in college and then beyond were like, well, can you take photos of us? And so I started doing that. And I was like, wait, this is actually really fun. And I loved seeing their reactions to the photos. And then my cousin asked me to shoot her wedding, which was my foray into wedding photography world 10 years ago. And the rest is history. I was kind of like, oh, I'm hooked on this. I love being involved with like an emotional moment and getting to document that for somebody and seeing their reaction to the photos. That really, getting to know somebody's story and then kind of showing their story back to them in visual form is like, it sounds corny, but it's a real gift. Like it's a gift that for me, like I get to experience this amazing thing with somebody, whether I know them or I don't know them. Nowadays, most of my clients I don't know, but they become friends throughout the process.
Hmm. Well, so was there like a flashpoint moment for you when you just thought, well, damn, I've got like a business going here, like, where you could turn this thing legitimate?
Uh, yeah, kind of. Well, I don't know about Flashpoint, but I was actually working as a dispatcher at a large police agency in Southern California. And I had this photo degree, and I was like, I really don't like my job. I think I would really prefer to do photography. So I would edit my photos while I was working graveyard shifts. And then I was like, wait, maybe I should just start my own business so I don't have a boss or like a schedule to adhere to. And so becoming my own boss was definitely something that I didn't really know I wanted to do, but now I'm so glad and I can't really imagine life another way. I always tell people I'm both the best boss and worst boss I've ever had.
Isn't that the truth? I can resonate with that in a very deep way, but nobody's as hard on, you as yourself, right? I mean, that's the way it is. So it sounded to me like you said that your cousin, had you shoot your first wedding, and then I'm sure that the events grew from there. I mean, you've shot, countless weddings, proposals, engagements, all sorts of different life events and happenings. But now, over this last year, you've gotten this space here in downtown Dana Point where you've grown your portrait business massively. And I mean, I'm looking at the website. You're able, with all of the stuff that you've got in this space that we see behind you, to show the you behind the brand. And I think that we were talking about this before we started shooting. Not a lot of people understand how important a great headshot for you and your brand is. And if you're missing out on that, I mean, you're losing credibility, right? I mean, like, talk to me a little bit about what it's been like to grow that portrait business there.
Yeah, that is so true. The headshots are so important. While I still do wedding and event photography, it was always a dream of mine since becoming a professional photographer 10 years ago to have my own space. And this is my first space outside of my own garage that I was shooting in previously. I've been in this space almost a year now. And I really love how we can control what goes on here as opposed to being outside where you have to deal with the sun. the wind, rain, sometimes here in California, not as often as other places, but in this space, we can make whatever my clients dream up, whatever color background they want, whatever outfits they want. The point is we want to make something that feels like them, just like you said, show the you behind your brand. And we can do that here with all the tools and the space that we have to create something that's really unique to them.
When you offer like a custom experience too, I mean, you were talking to me, and we can talk about this here in just a second too, but like, you know, the Carsten Tice photography difference, you know, going through a portrait process is like not so easy. You talk to a guy like me who, you know, most of his days is wearing, you know, a set of workout shorts and a t-shirt. I don't really know how to get my brand on point, but what you do, and your team will do, is you guys will come in and consult even before that person hits that space to take their portraits, right?
Absolutely. When we do our first phone call, I almost always find that people tell me well, even if they don't tell me outright that they're nervous, I can pick up that they're nervous because I would get nervous when I'm getting my photo taken. It's kind of a nerve-wracking experience. You don't know, am I going to look okay? Is this going to totally just destroy my business if this if this headshot doesn't look good? So I do in-home wardrobe consultations where I go to their home, either physically in person if they're local, or we do it on a video call, and I pick out which outfits are going to look great. Because sometimes people have an outfit that looks really great in real life, but it doesn't translate well on camera. And that could just distract from your message if the color's all wrong or the pattern's all wrong. So I try to help them pick something great, whether it's a headshot or family portraits, because family portraits can be even harder when you've got 5 different people to coordinate an outfit for.
Well, and you're not just like coordinating for these headshots and portraits for like individuals, but you've also got like a burgeoning like pet photography business too, like, which is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, that's another great thing about doing the in-home consultations for pet photography in particular. Animals are way less anxious around you if you've met them before and if they already recognize your smell. So that is definitely a great point, Henry.
Well, it's important. I mean, like it says on the website, right? Every member of your family, they deserve to be celebrated. These pets too. I mean, like more and more, especially these days, they're so much more a part of the family than they ever have been. Having a good photograph of your pet makes for a nice phone background. It's certainly, you know, something that's frame worthy. You've got like what, something framed here right now? Maybe it isn't a pet, but you've got some stuff here in your studio that you wanted to show off, right?
I do. I love framing portraits of people's pets.
Who is this? Whose dog is that?
That is one of my clients, and her name is Gracie, the dog.
Wow, my gosh. And you've got, you know, some other work as well. I mean, I see, of course, all your light rigs and things in the background too, tripods and things like that. Do you have, was there something on your left too that we have?
Yeah, I just one of the things that I like to offer my clients is the ability to have their portraits framed or printed in an album, because I know that it's very common for photographers to offer only digitals, and that kind of leaves the client in the dark about what to do with their pictures. Like, how do they know how to print them so they look good? But I
Mm.
like to print them in a nice quality album that will last them for generations so that they don't have to worry about stuff like that. I know in the past when I've gone to photographers who don't provide me with an album or framed print, then I'm left by myself thinking, what would I do before I was a photographer? Now, obviously, I would know what to do, but so
Well, I
I like
mean,
to take that burden off my clients and do everything for them. I always
that's,
say, well, I'll help you from the first call till the photos are on your wall.
oh, amazing. I mean, that's so important, especially like living in this digital world that we do. I mean, like so many people are going to let photos just live in their camera roll forever. And that's not the way we want it. They're best when displayed on a wall, you know, that you can leaf through. Just another way that you're making that difference here. I mean, and that's what I want to finish with. You know, the Carsten Tice experience is a unique one. You've got all these different ways in which you can make people feel comfortable before they even enter your studio. But why is it, in your words, Carsten, that somebody should come and visit you if they're in South County, Orange County, LA County, wherever? I know you come to folks too, but why is it that they should choose you?
I'd say because my clients end up having a fun and relaxed experience that surprises them, which is something that I'm very proud of. We like to have a good time while we're creating photos because I truly believe 100% that the way you feel when your photo is being taken is going to show through in the photo itself. And then whoever is looking at the photo, whether it's your potential clients or your friends or family, they're going to be able to feel what you were feeling. So you want to make sure you feel good while you're getting your photo done. So that's why the experience is fun and relaxing.
That's important. You want to be comfortable if you're going to take good photos. And this interview, I'll tell you, is one of the more comfortable ones I've ever done, which is why I only had to do your introduction just one little bitty time. That's the only thing. Carsten, I want to point out, beyond your portraits and events that you photograph, where folks can find you online, how they can engage with you, and how you prefer that they do that. Can you give us some plugs here?
My website is the probably the place where you can see the most stuff and the easiest way to contact me. It's www.carstentice.com. But I also am on Instagram at Carsten Tice.
Find her online, folks. And of course, everything is down here in the description of this video. She's great, bookable all over. But if you'd like to even visit her studio is there, like we said, in downtown Dana Point on Violet Lantern. Look her up at carstentice.com. Carsten, you've been such a fantastic guest, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on today on Know Your Pros.
Thank you so much for having me, Henry. I really appreciate you.
Know Your Pros!